once said he was born in Liverpool, but he grew up in New York City, meaning when he moved to New York, his life took on new meaning, and he had many defining moments while he lived in New York. I can say I was born in western North Dakota, but I was raised in Sioux Falls, South Dakota. I have so many fond memories of this city. As Kim mentioned, my bride is from here. Her family has welcomed me as one of their own, and so this is home. We come here often. And the one memory that I'm going to share with you this evening has a lot of moving parts to it, and I'll do my best to make some semblance out of it. But the year was 1987, it was January, and I was the night disc jockey at one of the local radio stations. My hair was longer than my attention span. And in January of 1987, South Dakota had a brand new governor. George S Mickelson was elected as the 28th governor of the state of South Dakota. And they had 3 gala events to celebrate his inauguration in Sioux Falls. And I was asked to host the team dance. I thought, sure, this will be great. You know, we'll play some songs and have a great time and celebrate the new governor. We went to the venue. His entourage arrived. I met Governor Mickelson and his wife, and his aide came up to me later and said, you have to introduce Governor Mickelson to the crowd. I panicked. I had never done such a thing in my life, and I was really nervous, and it was very obvious. And the governor said, you noticed my nervousness? And he said, that's okay, Bill, I'll go out there with you. So we walked out to the podium, and for those of you who didn't know George Mickelson, he was 6'5", 250 pounds, well-proportioned, extremely handsome man. And we walked out to the podium, and he put this huge hand, his right hand, which had just hours before been placed on a Bible as he took the oath of office. He placed it on my shoulder, and it just felt so comforting. I can remember to this day the feeling I had with the governor's hand on my shoulder. And I introduced him to the crowd. They went wild. We danced the night away, and the governor and his wife would dance by where we were playing the music, and he'd wink at me and give me the thumbs up. It was a great night. Time went on. The governor led the state of South Dakota to brand new heights. I switched radio stations, and I was at KTWB, just a stone's throw away from here. We were right above Wiley's Tavern. And our manager at the time was acquaintances with Tom Walsh, who at that time was also the head of the the Sioux Falls chapter of the South Dakota Make-A-Wish Foundation. And we did a fundraiser for the Make-A-Wish Foundation. We dedicated 12 hours of programming to raise money, and we blew the roof off of that promotion. We raised, I think, somewhere between $30,000 to $40,000 in just 12 hours. And it was great. And a little more time passed to April 19th, 1993. I had spent the afternoon horseback riding in Newton Hills with a friend. It was a beautiful spring day. And I remember it well. We were coming down the trails at Newton Hills, and the horses would sit down in their hindquarters and slide down the leaves, and we had a great time. We got home, turned the television on, and here there's a picture of Waco, Texas. The Branch Davidian was on fire. And then a graphic came on. George S Mickelson and 7 Sioux Falls businessmen died in a plane crash in Dubuque, Iowa. We were shocked. We couldn't believe it. Steve Hemmingson came on the television, and he looked horrible. He looked like he just heard the governor died. So we mourned with the state of South Dakota. We watched the processional from the Capitol and Pier to Brookings, and we all just felt such a great loss by losing the governor and those businessmen and the pilots in that plane crash in Dubuque, Iowa. A little more time passed after that. We were moving the radio station out of where we were downtown here, and we were in a part of the radio station where the announcers had their mailboxes and they'd get their production orders and station memos and things. And we pulled the counter away from the wall, and somebody noticed a letter stuck behind the countertop. We pulled it out, it's addressed to me, and it's from the governor of South Dakota, George S Mickelson. I received that letter after he passed away. And that took some time to process. The letter quoted Winston Churchill. He said, "We make a living by what we do, but a lifetime by what we give." And you, in some small way, Bill, have given a piece of yourself to make life better for other people. Thank you for making South Dakota a great place to live, work, and raise a family. Wow, that again took some time to really feel the depth of that letter, particularly because I received it after he was gone. I had the letter framed and I looked at it, and there was something about this letter that kept calling me back. There was something mysterious about this letter, and I couldn't figure it out, and it took me a couple of years. The letter was dated April 27th, 1992. What could that mean? I did some math, I wrote things down, I couldn't figure it out, and what I came up with was that letter was drafted 1 year minus 1 week minus 1 day from the day he passed away. Wow. I'd always been intrigued by like numbers in triplicate. In fact, my email address is wildbill444. You see them on street signs, you see it on your clock, you see it on license plates, you see numbers in triplicate, and I wondered what that meant. 111. And the explanation that I came up with was that anytime you see numbers in triplicate, it signifies the presence of angels. Some will argue, what about 666? Well, some religions believe that the devil was an angel that flunked out of angel school. He was kicked out. So today, as Kim mentioned, I am the media director for the North Dakota Cowboy Hall of Fame. I live on an acreage homesteaded by my grandfather. My mother founded the Ukrainian Cultural Institute in Dickinson, North Dakota. I've had a front row seat to people that are passionate about preserving history. And I'm in the process of putting together a public talk, or being a public speaker to heritage foundations and cultural entities and things of the like, and tell them about the importance of documenting history. And I'll be able to do that speech. I can do that. Why? Because there's a hand on my shoulder, my guardian angel, ladies and gentlemen, the 28th governor of the great state of South Dakota, George S Mickelson.